What is Six Sigma? Different people can term Six Sigma in a different way. We can say Six Sigma is a philosophy. As a philosophy in Six Sigma, we talk about a near perfection goal. We talk about integrating quality into day-to-day life. We talk about improving the process performance using facts, data, and actual verification of the problems. Six Sigma can also be termed as a performance metric. As a performance metric, we talk about 3.4 defects in a million opportunity. It is a very stringent standard that we set. Six Sigma can also be termed as a problem solving methodology. In Six Sigma, we use an approach called DMAIC or DMAIC, which is nothing but 5 phases of Six Sigma, that is define, measure, analyze, improve and control. In Six Sigma, we take any problem through all these 5 phases and only then we solve the problem. In Six Sigma, we don't just simply jump to the conclusion or solutions. Let's understand what is Six Sigma. First of all, let us understand what is Sigma. Sigma is a Greek alphabet used to denote standard deviation. As you all know, standard deviation is a mathematical term used to measure variation or spread of any process around the average or mean. Then you might wonder, what do we mean by sigma level or sigma score? That is the language that we use most often. Let us understand what do we mean by sigma rating or sigma score with an example of airline company. Here we are taking example of airline company A and airline company B. Airline company A is represented with green color and airline company B is represented with red color. In this example, we will mark the position of landing gear of aircraft when it lands on the runway. So this is one end of the runway, this is another end of the runway, and this is the target line where the aircraft has to actually land. And we will mark the position of landing gear every time it lands on this runway for both companies, airline company A and airline company B. As you can see here, we have marked the position of landing gear for airline company A with green dots. Similarly, we have also marked position of landing gear for airline company B. There is a lot of variation in case of airline company B versus airline company A. The fact of the matter is that none of the airline company's aircraft has ever derailed the runway, but this is the position of the variation. Let us understand this scenario further. Now, considering the fact that none of the airline company's plane has ever derailed, if you are given a choice, which airline company will you prefer as a customer and why? Obviously, you will all select company A. Why? Because the variation is very less. Or in other words, the probability of derailing in case of airline company B is very high. The important word that we use here is probability. In Six Sigma, we use the concept of probability to identify what is the defect level in a particular process, and we use this concept of probability to predict the product, process and service performance. If we divide the specification width with process variation, then what we get is called sigma level or sigma score. As you can see here, in this particular case, my sigma level is likely to be higher because my standard deviation is less. In case of airline company B, because the process variation is large, and if we divide specification width with process variation, then my sigma level is likely to be less. If the sigma level is higher, it is better, and if the sigma level is less, that means it's not good. We can say here that airline company A is operating at a Six Sigma level and airline company B is operating at a less than 3 Sigma level.